Hundreds of the Nasa indigenous people attend the funeral of Edwin DAGUA, a young community leader. He's the latest defender of human rights shot dead in the Cauca region of Colombia. His brother says his only sin was speaking out.
He made a strong statement against armed actors at a community meeting and sentenced himself to death, as they say. They were there that day, but who knows which ones they were.
They could be any of 7 different criminal groups, dissident rebels, paramilitaries and other armed gangs fighting to control this land for the lucrative cultivation of coca crops, the plant used to make cocaine, and illegal gold mining. A 2016 peace deal with FARC rebels ended the decades-long war against the government, but left a power vacuum that the state has failed to fill. Indigenous leader and senator Feliciano Valencia has received death threats for denouncing the criminal group's activities. He was given an armored car, but no bodyguards.
We don't know who will be next. It could be me, a family member, or a companion. We are living in constant fear of what can happen any given day.
The Northern Cauca Indigenous Association has compiled a list of the death threats received by its members. Valencia says the government needs to recognize the systematic pattern of the attacks.
There's a killing every day. Indigenous, social leaders, human rights defenders. We are denouncing the government's lack of attention.
The overall number of killings in Colombia has fallen since the signing of the peace deal, but the same is not true when it comes to community leaders and human rights defenders. 400 have been killed since 2016, 164 in 2018 alone.
That's true. Yeah.
Under pressure, the government invited a special rapporteur from the United Nations on a fact-finding mission. He met with hundreds of community leaders and victims of attacks.
I mean, you can only admit that somehow it's a systematic attack against defenders. I don't want to blame this government, but to say that for me the pattern is really appalling.
The government of President Ivan Duque says many of the problems date back to the previous administration. But unless more is done, people will continue to pay the ultimate price for speaking out. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera, Cauca.